Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan page with plot synopsis to the story and character bio. So, we have one more issue until we get to Death in the Family. The death of basically Jason Todd as Robin, but we know it's comic books. We know he doesn't die forever. And we get the Red Hood, but this was a big deal back in the day. So, we're going to be looking at Batman 425 from 1988. Like I said, Death in the Family will start the next issue. So, we are dealing with the repercussions from the previous issue where Robin, we are left hanging whether or not he killed that politician's bad son. So, great cover here by Mark Bright, and I believe he inks himself, which is very rare. I don't see Mark Bright inking himself. Mark Bright is best known as the penciler of the second Iron Man run with Bob Layton. So he was the penciler of that. Jim Starlin is the writer, and he has written all his issues. He had a short run, a great short run. I have all these issues. I always explain I prefer showing these comics digitally, so much easier than doing that whole setup where I just put them in here and all that stuff. You get to see them in better quality than me setting up my iPhone and putting it on a just having you look down on it. There's plenty of channels with that out there. I prefer digital. So but I own every single one of these issues. So Jim Starlin writes in these issues in first person perspective. So I picked up the envelope at let's start again. I picked up the envelope at police headquarters last night. It was addressed for my eyes only, so I x-rayed it to make sure it wasn't a letter bomb. I was bushed and I didn't bother to open it until breakfast. What a way to start the day. Number one, the police are not gonna just for Batman only. What the heck? The police would have been like, yeah. Alright, so the title of our story is Here's Consequences, and Alfred is serving breakfast. This is Jason Todd, Robin. You can see here Bruce Wayne is holding this Commissioner Gordon here. Does anybody know what these things were? I don't know. So there's a letter accompanying the photo. Batman, come without police or Gordon will die. Bring the boy with you. A bereaved father. So Bruce then asked Alfred to bring him the phone. And very 80s here. This is Batman. Is Jim home? Out of town on business, eh? No, it's not important. I'll catch him later. And so. And Jason says, what's up? He says, nothing at all. And he goes, so he wants me to bring Jason along. It's not hard to figure out who the bereaved father is. Felipe Garzonas was a little punk with a taste for cocaine and abusing women. Jason and I met him shortly after he'd had his way with a young model, one Gloria Stanson. Turned out the law couldn't touch him because of his diplomatic immunity. His father was Bogotago's ambassador to the U.S. Knowing Felipe was going to take another crack at her, Gloria Stanson opted for a foolish and very permanent way out. This set Jason off. He couldn't deal with the injustice of the situation. I knew he'd be heading for Felipe's apartment. I prayed I'd catch up with him in time. I wasn't. Felipe took a 20-story nosedive into Fifth Avenue. Great vertical panel. I found Robin on Felipe's balcony, coolly staring over the parapet. When I demanded to know what happened, I spooked him. Sorry, I guess I spooked him. He slipped. Again, we know we can kind of theorize what's going on, but this, we when death in the family happens, it doesn't come out of left field, but it still surprised me. So I didn't press the matter. How could I continue on with Jason as my partner? Felipe's death was reported as an accident, and the authorities accepted it as such. But it looked like Felipe's father, Jose Garzona, didn't buy this verdict. Jose, just like me. I should have known something like this was going to happen. Jose augments his income as a diplomat by the large scale smuggling of cocaine into the country. Such a man doesn't take the death of his son lightly. It's pretty obvious why he wants me to bring Jason along. Jason just keeps having his breakfast. Which is why I'll handle this case alone. Better hurry, Jason. You'll be late for school. On my way. See you tonight. And he says, sure. And Jason, of course, looks, something's off. And so, in the Batcave, Batman's heading to the Batmobile, which is actually a cool I really like this 80s Batmobile. So, now it's Batman. By the way, I love the blue Batman version. This to me is my Batman. So when I draw Batman, he always has this blue. So we continue. Of course, I recognize the junkyard in the photo. I was meant to. And yes, I know it's a trap. I'm going anyway. Some things in life are just too tempting to resist, and so off he goes. Like I said, I really like this Batmobile. I just do. So Master Jason, gone, must have left for school. And then he goes, he forgot to take his lunch and with him, and so he left his book. So Alfred now knows something's up. So Batman arrives at the junkyard here. So this is the place. I'm sure they heard me pull up. There's at least a dozen guns aimed toward the front entrance of the yard. Which is a great reason for not going in that way. So we got a bit of a coloring snafu here. I can understand in the original why it was printed like that, but I don't understand when you're reprinting these, you can't fix this. The digital version, you should be able to at least fix that coloring mistake. So I do love the use of screen tones. I love it, love it, love it. So walking into a trap is one thing. Being stupid is another matter entirely. I land as quietly as I possibly can. This move probably saves my life. The two gunmen are no more than 15 yards in front of me. They look tough and competent, like they know how to use those Uzis. I don't play around with them. I take them out as quickly and with probably more force than necessary. And so we're now at the outside. And so how did Robin beat him into the Batmobile first? I don't know, but he did. So he looks up, sees Gordon. Your friends are here. I can feel them getting closer, which means that you'll soon see them die. His beef is with Batman and Robin. He should actually kill Gordon because that's what Batman would not like. So this doesn't look like a professional as the others. I figure I can get a bit fancy with him. Maybe get a little improvisational. So he grabs a car battery. This is just so cool. And tosses it at the guy. So grabs this one. Very so they must have used Miami Vice's reference. So all right, I get careless. It happens sometimes. Freeze, sucker! They catch me flat-footed. Well, almost flat-footed. So he jumps out of the way and they shoot each other. I'd hoped to end this without any more deaths. So Robin's like, that was automatic gunfire. Good thing I tagged along. Sounds like Batman's going to need my help. They're getting still nearer. Soon my son's death will be avenged. Soon, very soon. And so the commissioner's like, you'll never get away with this, Garsonas. Who's to stop me? You? Your doomed friends? So these guys are like, I never should have taken this job. So Batman's coming. I love it when they do the shadow. I do a clean job on these two. They're out of the game even before they realize I'm on them. So I don't know about you, but this looks so much like Klaus Janson. It's not. It's Mark Bright and Steve Mitchell. We didn't go to the credits because I believe the credits are on the last page, but it just has a Klaus Janson feel to it, which I like. With his coke money, Garsona could have a small army hidden in this junkyard, but I guess it really doesn't matter. I have to go in and free Gordon. If I don't, my oldest friend is dead. So he's running in there. Hold on, Jim, I'm coming. So um smoking a cigarette when Batman's coming. And these guys are like, what are you doing? Trying to give away our position? Give the cigarette out. And he's like, okay, okay. It's Sir Whispers I hear. Sound travels well in this metal graveyard. And he whispers, surprise. So, punches, punches. Again, very Klaus Janson-ish. And old Frank Miller in a way. So, hey guys, what's going on? And so, he throws his batarang with drug tip, hits the guy. Just shooting indiscriminately. All right. So this guy smiles. He says, welcome, Batman. I want you to step out here where I can see you. If you don't, I will put a bullet in Senor Gordon's head. You have until the count of 3 to comply. And here he's surrounded. Love this. 1, 2, and then Batman counts 3. Just, where's the boy? And he says, left him at home. Your fight's with me. Very well. Have it your way. Again, I really do enjoy Jim Starlin's writing. I don't care too much for first person narrations sometimes, but he does it every issue or some kind of narration, and it's not my cup of tea exactly, but it does work. But he does a lot of narrating, particularly first person. So Batman, see here, I tends to move. It's not going to be easy at this close range. I'll probably end up taking a bullet or two. But then we see another, and it's Robin. And he goes, never leave home without one. So I overcome my surprise quicker than these two. Unfortunately, I don't connect solidly enough. It can't be helped. I have to free Gordon before dealing with them. He throws the batarang, both of them. He hits them because he's Batman and he's cool. Again, I love this blue. Run for it, Jim. He's a he's a police officer. I understand, but anyway, go hide behind Batman. So, they start to shoot. One of them hits Gordon in the arm, but look at these, all the other bullets miss. This time I lay everything I've got into the punch, and he punches this guy, hitting him. So I catch a glimpse of Gordon getting to his feet and hightailing, but I'm not fast enough to stop Garzonos for reaching for the fallen Uzi. I figure him. I figure him for trying to use it on me, but he aims it at Robin. Wrong, but Robin's too fast for him. Watching that exchange has thrown me off. I know I'm going to reach the second. I'm not. Sorry. I know I'm not going to reach the second gunman in time. I nearly get myself cut in half by the blast. So, all this writing is just really to slow you down. Otherwise, this issue would be. This could be a silent issue almost with nothing. Just if it wasn't for. I like this Batman here. If it wasn't for the writing, this issue you could go through in 5 minutes. Um, but he has all this just so that you slow down on it and just kind of enjoy the book and kind of gives you a little perspective on what's going on. So Garzona has his attention on Batman, but Batman gets away. I've blown it. They've caught me in a crossfire, nowhere to run as he is climbing up. You can see them shooting, but their aim is so bad. You would think that was these Uzis, but you know, and so they keep missing. Any moment now, one of those bullets will find its mark. Never thought it would end like this. Really, Batman? How'd you think it was gonna end? Cut down by a filthy drug dealer. Nothing to do but keep scrambling up the tower of metal scrap. Some miracle allows me to make it to the top of the heap. Well, more like their bad aim. I can buy myself a few more seconds of life by flattening out in the roof. Then, what's this? My safe perch decides to collapse on me. I can feel it going. All Garza's has to do is step back and pick me off when I land. But I guess his thirst for vengeance blinds him to the danger because he's underneath. He continues to blast away at me, even with the scrap iron Tower of Babel crashing down on him. So, boom. And the poor drug dealer is dead. Took care of this cut rate bad guy for you. You okay? Yes, fine, thanks. What's going on here? A lot of stupidity and some deaths, all wrapped up in a father's righteous anger. Say what? Who was the old guy with the Uzi? His name was Jose Garzonas. He was Felipe's father, Robin. For every action in the universe, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Consequences, Robin. There's no escaping them. And so the last page, we just get to view all this chaos. Batman holding the gun. Robin kind of looking. Batman tosses the gun. It's a silent page. And Robin walking away. And thus we finally get our credits. Jim Starlin is the writer. MD Bright, Mark Bright, Doc Bright here is the penciler. Steve Mitchell is the inker. Steve Mitchell is most of the time the inker for Norm Breyfogle in Detective Comics. So here you go. Next issue, 426, begins Death in the Family. So here we go. Denny O'Neil, of course, a longtime writer in the 70s with Neil Adams, is our editor. So, yeah, so Batman 425 from 1988. Jim Starlin, Mark Bright, Steve Mitchell. Like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. This is a really good run for Starlin here on Batman.